Hello Starlets, I'm Sarah from Everyday Starlet. Welcome to my channel. We're bringing a little bit of glamour to everyday life. Today we are talking about stick foundations. This is a phenomenon that I feel like just took over. The stick foundation is the new cushion foundation. I don't know. So I decided to do a makeup collection review. If you're not familiar with the way my reviews work, I take however many products I have of a certain type of product, in this case stick foundations. I try a different one each day for however many days it takes. I actually videotape myself applying it, giving my initial impression, and then I give you an update throughout the day to let you know what I think of it and how it lasts. So you get to see a review of all the different brands of a certain type of product all in one video. There you go. At the end of the video, I will be giving you my A-list and D-list products so you will know which ones are worth your money and which ones aren't. But if you want to see my stick foundation collection and how everything applied, how it worked, and how it lasted throughout the day, then just keep watching. The first stick foundation I have is I'm not really sure it's a stick foundation. It's the Cover FX Cover Click Cream Foundation. And it's supposed to be like a foundation and concealer, and I ordered it on the website and it's tiny. I guess it's supposed to be like a concealer and foundation according to the website. I don't know. It's this itty bitty tiny thing. This is gonna last like 2 seconds on me. And I used my Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer all over my whole face, which is what I'm gonna try to do for everything, and kind of light for me. It seemed like the best shade match on the website, but what I'm gonna try to do is use a beauty blender on one side of my face and a makeup brush on the other side. So I'm gonna try the makeup brush over here. I do think the shade match is a little light for me. Not giving me great coverage, which is weird because it's supposed to be a foundation and concealer. Let's try the beauty blender side. Okay, the brush kind of like blended it quicker. I feel like I have to work a little bit harder with the damp beauty blender side. It's not giving me great coverage. It actually might even be less coverage over here, and it's harder to blend in, I feel like, with the beauty blender side. The brush side blended in a little bit more seamlessly. I'm not getting great coverage. I'm not in love with the shade, and this was the closest shade as far as I could tell from the website. Overall, I'm not a lot impressed, but I'm gonna put on the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna check in a little bit later in the day. We're gonna see how this held up and see if my opinion changes at all. Hey guys, so I'm a bit of a mess right now. I went to the chiropractor today. My neck has been really bad. Okay, so I did have my face down on like paper at the chiropractor's office, but honestly, this foundation didn't feel all that great on my face, like while I was driving to the chiropractor. Like, it felt dry. It didn't feel good on my face at all. It didn't give me any coverage. My face just felt tight. Cover FX, I feel like, has some of my favorite products, and they have some products that are like meh. This one, I just don't like at all, so don't like this one. Okay, so today's stick foundation is the Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundation. I've heard very mixed reviews about this. I grabbed the shade Cool Beige. I did like I did yesterday. I used my regular moisturizer, and then I put on my Hourglass Mineral Primer thing. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, now I'm gonna try this side of my face with my foundation brush. Okay, I can already tell you I like it better than the Cover FX, but I didn't like that one at all. It blended in pretty well with the brush. It's not giving me a huge amount of coverage. Let's try this side with the beauty blender. Okay, this side is giving me even less coverage. I'm gonna try and cheat a little bit and just add a little bit more on my cheeks and just kind of see if maybe, all right, it builds. That's actually not too bad. Okay, it's harder to blend when you try to build it with the beauty blender. I think you need a brush with this. This side, the coverage is not as good. So yeah, this definitely needs a brush. It is buildable on this side to get more coverage. I'm gonna finish my makeup and set it with a little bit of powder. I'll check in a little bit later and we'll see how it held up. Okay, so foundation update. I think it's okay. I definitely like the side that I used the brush better. It had better coverage, although it has worn off quite a bit. The beauty blender side never really gave me the right amount of coverage. The finish was a little patchy, but not too bad. Like, I don't know if I'm in love with it, but I definitely like it better than yesterday's, so I don't know. I'm excited to try more, see if I find one that I like a little bit better. Okay, so today's stick foundation is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD stick foundation. I do have a review and a possible dupe testing for the original Makeup Forever Ultra HD, the liquid form. Spoiler alert, not a fan. I thought I would try the stick formula because I do know a lot of people have been talking about it. I've heard mixed reviews about it, so. Okay, this side of my face, I'm gonna use the brush. My skin has actually been looking really bad, so this won't necessarily be the greatest test, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. And this side, I'm gonna use my beauty blender. Okay, now with this one, I actually feel like I got a much smoother application with the beauty blender side. I'm actually gonna blend in this side just to be a little bit more even. I mean, I usually do both brush and beauty blender, but yeah, I definitely feel like you need a beauty blender with this to really smooth things out. I don't think with a brush it goes on quite as smoothly. I mean, my skin really does need a lot of coverage right now because it's really kind of breaking out. Evens it out nicely. It doesn't feel too heavy, but I don't know, it doesn't feel quite as lightweight as I would want a foundation to be. I'm gonna put on the rest of my makeup. I'll update you a little bit later on how it feels and what I think of it. Hey guys, so stick foundation update. All right, here's the thing with this foundation. It was good from a distance. I'd say for a little while after I started wearing it, look in the mirror, I'd be like, well, my skin looks nice. But up close, I don't know, it didn't look like it was sitting well on my skin. And definitely like the beauty blender side a little bit better, but you can see I have like sunglass marks, which that happens with anything, but it's really faded. Didn't like the way it felt on my skin. It felt heavy even though it didn't look heavy. I don't know, it was weird. It's not terrible. I'm just not in love with it. I feel like if you really like the Makeup Forever Ultra HD liquid foundation, like if that's your jam, because a lot of people love that one, I'd say, and you want something that's a little bit heavier, and a little bit more coverage, this could be good for you. If you don't like that, or you haven't tried that, or you just don't really care about that, it's not the best. Probably won't go into my regular rotation. Again, not terrible, but not my preference, but I didn't like the original Ultra HD at all. So you can take that for what it's worth, but it's not gonna be my favorite. Okay, so today's stick foundation is another first impression. It is the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation Stick. I actually really love for a lightweight everyday foundation. I really love the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation in the liquid form, so I thought I'll try it in the stick form. I'm in the shade Cool Sand. I'm Cool Beige in the Skin Foundation, the original, but for some reason I couldn't find that shade listed in the stick foundation, so I actually had a hard time finding it in any foundation, so I'm wondering if they've discontinued that color, which is a shame because it's a really good color for me. I'm gonna use my Real Techniques Expert face brush instead of my buffing brush because my buffing brush is like really dirty. It's blending out awful nicely. All right, I'm gonna try this side with a beauty blender. My skin is still not doing all that well. I don't really think my skin's gonna look great with any foundation right now, but I wanted to keep up the testing, so I would say they're both very similar as far as the brush or the beauty blender side. I'm gonna smooth out the brush side a little bit with the beauty blender just because I always do that. And I do think it needed a tiny bit more. I mean, that's just me. Like, I go over everything wet or creamy with a beauty blender, but at the end of the day, I mean, I think it did a good job. I probably would use a brush to smooth it out, and then the beauty blender, I just feel like that feels better. But honestly, I think it worked the same both ways. It's a very natural finish. I probably need more coverage today, but on an average everyday basis, not necessarily something I would want to be super full coverage. I think it evened things out. Not a lot of coverage, but some. Just kind of like evening things out. Lightweight, doesn't feel heavy at all. So I'm gonna put on the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna check in with you later in the day, let you know how this holds up and how I like it. Okay, foundation update. Got kind of dark and lighting's not great, so I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I mean, I think it held up really well. I don't know if I like it as much as the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation in liquid. It does feel nice on the skin, very natural. My skin was really bad this morning and it felt more evened out when I looked in the mirror. Blowed my nose a lot today because my allergies are really acting up, and it didn't get like patchy or weird or anything, so I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so today's stick foundation is the Hourglass, I believe it's called the Hourglass Vanish foundation. I have the shade Vanilla. Heard very good things about this, although it is pricey. It applies really easily, like this like triangle shaped stick actually I feel like works really well. Okay, so this side of my face with the brush. Wow, that is like, that's evening out my skin really well. Okay, it's funny, in this lighting, my skin still looks a little red and bumpy, but like, I'm looking at the side in the mirror, it looks really even and smooth, so. I'm gonna try this side with the Beauty Blender. I feel like it was easier to apply with the brush, but I feel like I got a better finish with the Beauty Blender side. I'm gonna go over the brush side with the Beauty Blender just to even it out. First impression is it feels nice. It looks pretty natural, I think. But I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup. I'll check back in later and let you know how things go. Okay, so foundation update. It's still kind of early in the day today, but I actually put my neck out. So I have to go to the chiropractor. My face is gonna be face down on paper and stuff, so it's gonna get messed up anyway, so I thought I would just check in. And I've been running around today like crazy. It's freezing cold outside and it's just been a really stressful day, so I made this foundation work like really hard, and it has faded a little bit. I have noticed, like, walking around, that my skin did look pretty good for a lot of the day, but then I went out in the cold and I was blowing my nose and stuff, so it has faded and my skin isn't quite as flawless. Yesterday's foundation, the Bobbi Brown, like, I didn't put through nearly as much as I did today, so it's kind of hard to do an even comparison. I mean, I still don't think I'm won over by stick foundations in general. I like my liquid foundations. I feel like they give a better, I don't know, they're just better on my skin, but this one, you know, it definitely has been pretty good and it's held up pretty well considering what I put it through today. It warrants a second try. Overall, it's pretty good. Okay, so today's stick foundation is the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. I've got a luxury product here. I grabbed the shade. I had a really hard time picking my shade for this, but I am in the shade 3.5 at Rosewood. I'm assuming that's my shade. Seems to be a good shade match so far. It's kind of a wide stick end. A little hard to get in around the nose, but you can always spread that around, I'm assuming, with a brush. So we'll see. I'm gonna try a brush on this side. Seems like it blended in really well. I forgot to wet my Beauty Blender. Hang on. Okay, now this side with the Beauty Blender. This is definitely a good shade match for me. I feel like it blended in equally well with the brush and the Beauty Blender. It's a little bit more flawless on the Beauty Blender side, so I'm just gonna go over the brush side with the Beauty Blender just to even things out. Not getting a huge amount of coverage on my cheeks here, but it did even out my skin tone. It feels very lightweight, and I feel like it looks very natural on the skin. Like, it really is traceless. Like, it's very, very natural. I don't want a lot of luxury brands like this, so I tend to be really critical of the expensive brands, but this one so far looks really nice. I like the way it feels. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, let you know what I think, and then I will let you know how it turns out. Hey guys, foundation update. I actually think this stuff is really good. I don't know, it doesn't have quite as much coverage as some of the others, but it feels really like I have nothing on my skin, but it evens it out. I think if I was having a better skin day, it would be a good option. If you need something with a lot of coverage, not the best option. But if you just want something lightweight just to kind of even things out, I don't know if you want to spend Tom Ford money on just a lightweight everyday foundation, but I don't know, I like it. The shade is perfect for me, just so natural in the skin. I gotta say, I'm impressed. Okay, and that was my stick foundation collection. These were actually, I believe, all first impressions. I don't think I had tried any of these before this video. Let's start in with the D-list product, which is the one that I liked the least. I'd say a lot of these were just kind of middle of the road for me. They were kind of it's okay. As far as D-list, should be no surprise to you based on the video. I love Cover FX. I do. They have some of my favorite products, but I don't get this. I don't understand this. It's not really a concealer, it's not really a foundation. It's so teeny, teeny, tiny. There's like no product in here. The color match wasn't very good. It just, all around, I don't like it. As far as A-list products, the only one that really like got me excited, blew me away, was an amazing color match. I just felt really worked well was the Tom Ford, and I hate that because it's the most expensive. Where's Tom Ford? Right here. It's not full coverage. And I feel like for this kind of price, I don't know why I would want just a basic everyday foundation, but it really was the best. The color match just, I mean, I apply it and it's almost as if like it was made for my skin color. I'm in the shade Rosewood. It really is traceless. I mean, it just made my skin look like my skin, but better. Really, really love this. I just don't know. Like, I feel bad recommending it to you because I don't really know if it's worth the price. I liked it best, but I don't know if it's worth the price. I do want to give a shout out to an expensive but less expensive Hourglass. I do think that this one was worth a shout out if you really want to try stick foundation. I thought this one was good, and I hate that I'm saying the Hourglass one is more affordable than the Tom Ford, but you know what I mean. I also did really enjoy the Bobbi Brown one. The only thing is, I think I like the Bobbi Brown liquid skin foundation better than the stick foundation. Honestly, I hate that the most expensive ones are the best, but in this situation it is. So if you really want to try stick foundations, I would say these are probably the ones to go with, but overall, I'm not a huge fan of stick foundations. I don't see myself using stick foundations every single day. I think they're gonna kind of be a fad and they're gonna kind of go away. I'll probably go back to my liquid foundations. That's just the way I am. So if you have any stick foundations that you've tried that you loved or you hate or that you want me to review or anything, please let me know. Leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. I love your suggestions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. A while back, I was suffering from anxiety and depression, and I truly believe that beauty and makeup saved my life, and I believe it can save yours too. So if you want to join my Starlet squad, be sure you hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on all my social media channels. The links will all be listed in the description box below, along with links to all of these products. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you join me next time.